Do you have a sense um, if Governor Ferguson is just unfamiliar, unaware, or pleading ignorance? Or, I mean, because he's got to know that there's constitutional issues and the legal precedents against it.
The thing is that there's really nothing new here. Uh, every 10 to 20 years that we go through this process where a group in the legislature decides we just can't live without a state income tax. And so they rally their members, and sometimes, they've even had bipartisan support, as in the Dan Evans administration in the early 70s. In all of those cases, they've done what should be done, which is, muster the votes for a constitutional amendment that excludes income from the definition of property in our Constitution. And then you send it to the voters. They've done that 6 times over the decades. And every time the voters have said no. And by big margins, they have said no. The voters have also been given the opportunity to vote on income taxes through the initiative process, did not go through the constitutional amendment route. The most recent example of that was Initiative 1098 back in 2010. And again, by nearly 2-to-1 margin, they said, no, we don't want an income tax. It's analogous to voters in the state of Oregon who have had many, many opportunities to adopt a state sales tax. And they said, no, they don't want a sales tax. That's why Oregon doesn't have one. But the thing is that those legislatures that sent constitutional amendments to the ballot respected the Constitution. And they're not the only ones. Other states that have very broad definitions of property, like our state does. Our state defines property in the Constitution as everything, whether tangible or intangible, subject to ownership. So
yeah, my bank account is my property.
And my paycheck is my property.
Right.
The idea that we don't have property rights and our income is ludicrous.